Hello and welcome to SoCal Prep Report. My name is Randy Rosenblum alongside Eric Sadheimer of the Los Angeles Times. We're in the East San Fernando Valley today. We're going to talk Grant High School football. Franco Stasili's got his football team to a perfect 6-0 record. But Eric, as we look back at last week, we must start with Narbonne, the top-ranked team in the city, playing at home, getting challenged by LA High, winning the game only 13-6.
If I thought it was going to be this good of a game, I would have gone to that game.
You should have gone to the game.
Yes, it was stunning. I mean, if LA High had beaten Narbonne, it might as well just end the season because that would have been the most shocking result. Narbonne is unbeaten. They're beating up on the Southern Section teams. They played LA. It's the first City Section opponent they've played in a non-league game since, I believe it was 2010. And LA High had it 6-6, and if they had made the extra point, they'd be leading 7-6 in the fourth quarter. They made 4 interceptions of Jaleel Chapman. Now give Jalen Chapman. So give Narbonne credit. They were able to throw the winning touchdown pass, Chapman to Tyrone Marshall. But LA High, they really earned a lot of respect.
And on that touchdown pass to Marshall, it was a phenomenal play by Chapman to keep the play going, scrambling out of the pocket. He was being pursued all night long, and he found him for the touchdown and won the game 13-6. It'll be much easier this week when Narbonne plays Gardena. That will
running
be a
clock.
Running clock. There wasn't a running clock in the Fairfax-Bell game. This was a terrific football game. It came down to the wire. Fairfax remains undefeated, 28-27. I know you love the quarterback at Fairfax, Markel White.
Yeah, he's passed for a lot of touchdowns. He's run for a lot of touchdowns. He's that double threat, versatile player. And he will be the player that people have to stop in the Western League. You know, league play begins this week.
Yeah, Markel White has thrown for 7 touchdowns and has rushed for 10 scores. He's really dynamic. There was a great game in the Northern League last week. It went into overtime, and Lincoln is back. The Tigers got off to a slow non-league schedule, but now they're winning football games, and they get by Eagle Rock 33-27 in OT.
Yeah, huge win for Lincoln. It really changes the Northern League. I thought it was going to be Franklin and Eagle Rock battling it out, and now you add another team there, and Lincoln's certainly going to give Franklin a battle. Those are 2 longtime Northern League rivals.
You know, we mentioned LA High, and they're in the Coliseum League, so that brings up a couple other fine Coliseum teams from that outstanding league. Let's talk Dorsey football. The Dons go to Culver City and eke out a high-scoring victory, 35-31. This is a nice win for the Dons.
Yeah, Keyshawn Johnson, who's not related to the same player of the same name, and also there's another Keyshawn Johnson, the son at Calabasas, but he ran for 167 yards, and they had Mincy, the sophomore running back, run for over 100 yards. So, and then they had Godoy, the quarterback, throw for 167 yards. So good balance by Dorsey. They will be ready to take on L.A. this week.
I really like Godoy. I think he's a very good quarterback. He can run out of the pocket. In the short passing game, he's very, very skilled. Now, the other team from the Coliseum League that we're used to winning championships is Crenshaw. And the Shaw lost the week before in a game they were supposed to lose at Vista Murrieta. But now they travel to Ventura County. They go to Oxnard to play the Yellow Jackets. I know you thought they were going to win. I thought they were going to win. And they got blown out by 3 touchdowns in Oxnard.
Yeah, that was a disappointing effort. And I think they're going to need to pick it up, or they're going to end up finishing 3rd place in the Coliseum League.
You know, you had an interesting note this week in one of your articles, and it was about the city section needs kickers.
Yeah.
Why don't we have kickers when we have such good soccer programs in the city section?
It is stunning to me because in soccer, the city section can match anybody anywhere in the country. But for whatever reason, the coaches are not working very well on their special teams. And the ineptness on extra points is just evident. And teams are blowing it and losing games because of it. And I don't understand it. To me, it's a very simple process. You recruit somebody who can kick, and then you work on that in practice. And between the kicker, the snapper, the long snapper, and the holder. And I think that things should be much better in the city section.
It wasn't all that long ago that Narbonne lost a city championship game to Crenshaw because their special teams broke down. And there's no reason why you should not have a good placement specialist in the city section. Last ad on this segment, from battlefields to the gridiron.
Battlefields to ball fields.
That's the slogan. It's battlefields to the ball field. But I'm talking about going from Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan and places like that to the football field as an official. Tell us about the program that is now occurring in the city section.
Well, it's a pilot program. The city section is helping, not the city section, but an LA officials unit is helping recruit military veterans out to be officials. And so far, 6 of them, and they're all being trained.
And you were at Van Nuys.
Yeah, Van Nuys High. I got to see Thomas Harris, a Chatsworth grad who's learning to be official. Used to be in the Navy years ago, and now he's just learning on the fly. And it's a great program. I think it's going to spread around the country. There's a dwindling number of officials because they don't like dealing with parents and coaches and kids. But these guys are military men. They've been gone through boot camp. They can handle the pressure. So I think it's a great idea.
And right now it's currently football, but it's going to expand and go into other sports around the country, and it's just a fabulous idea to get our veterans involved in prep sports. We're going to step out. When we come back, we're talking Grant Lancer football. Best start in 10 years. Grant is a perfect 6-0. That's next on SoCal Prep Report.
Exploring LA County's trails is now a click away. A mobile-friendly trail locator lets you discover all our county's scenic hikes. It features an interactive map that takes you inside the trail. From the elevation to the temperature, what you need to know is at your fingertips. Wondering if your dog, horse, or bike is welcome? It has that too. So discover some of LA's best-kept secrets and happy trails to you.
We have with us the Italian stallion, Franco Stasili. I think Eric gave him that name when he played here at Grant. He's back, first year coaching, and he's got his Lancers to 6-0. First, welcome to the show, Franco. And second of all, how in goodness gracious are you undefeated with 20 players?
You know, I asked myself that same question, but it's all hands on deck. Everyone needs to contribute. It is a challenge, but we use it as our motivation for the season, and the players bought into that. So it's helping us in terms of our motivation. It's challenging in practice, but in games, that's what gets us ready to play.
You have no bench warmers, right? That's a good thing.
Yeah, everyone's playing. No matter, there's some guys who, based on experience, probably should be on JV, but with our needs, they got to come up to varsity and they have to contribute.
Right. You have a outstanding quarterback who can run and pass, Cameron Perry. Talk a little bit about his strengths.
Cameron he's outstanding in his football knowledge. I've never dealt with a quarterback so smart. He's able to go through his progressions. We have an unlimited amount of plays, and that's because he's able to comprehend all of that. And outside from his mobility and his arm strength, I think it's his smarts that separates him.
You won last week 20-6 at Verdugo Hills, but I know you weren't happy with your team's performance. How do you keep them even-keeled over the long haul so there aren't the disappointments even though you got the W?
Well, we always talk about our goals, and we have high goals for this season, and we're always trying to improve in order to accomplish that. So our goal is to win league and then succeed in the playoffs, and the only way we're going to do that is continuing to improve. I didn't like the amount of penalties we had, and those are things we got to clean up, otherwise it will come back to haunt us later on in the season.
Now, you were a really good player here at Grant, and then you became a coach at 8-man football, Fulton Prep, and then you come back. What's the adjustment been like? Did you have to change plays, relearn the 11-man game?
Well, the plays are the same as far as the way they're called, but yeah, I have to adjust, who pulls in certain situations. I had to learn the 8-man game, and then when I came back to Grant, I kind of had to learn 11-man once again. So it was an adjustment, but you can run a lot of the same stuff in 8-man that you do in 11-man.
Franco, I want to go back to the numbers again. How do you practice with so limited athletes, so few on campus?
That's the biggest challenge. What we tend to do is we'll pull up some JV guys to fill in spots for the scout team, or sometimes our coaches are out there playing the scout team as well. So,
can they cover you? You can still run the patterns, right?
I've put on some weight since my play days, but the players think they can all lock me down, but I'll show them later on.
All right, who are you going to meet? Who are you going to bring out here? We're going to interview a couple of your players. I think you told me Cameron Perry. Who else is coming out?
Our center and linebacker, Sean Ben Shimon. He's kind of our anchor of our line and smart young man. he'll be out here speaking as well.
All right, we're going to come back. We're going to meet Sean and Cameron. We thank the coach. Grant's doing great. We'll meet the players right after this on SoCal Prep Report.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
As promised, we're back with Cameron and Sean. Let's start with the quarterback. First of all, do you eat? You are pencil thin.
No, I do eat, but it's just I gotta put more work in the weight room and get it together.
How much do you weigh?
165.
You're kidding me. Where's the 165 pounds?
It's in the legs.
It's in the legs.
It's in the legs.
All right, if someone wanted to come out and watch a Grant Lancer football game and watch you play quarterback, what do they see?
You'll see a very talented quarterback, composed, humble, and just ready to grind and win for my team.
And Sean, you're the center on this team, and centers are usually the most intelligent player. And I understand you are the most intelligent player. Explain your background in school.
My grades are pretty good. I try to put a school before football, but of course I have games and everything. But I somehow make everything fit, and I do my stuff in school. I get everything done.
You're one of the 20, the great 20. You only had 20 players last week. What is it like being on a team with that number? Because if somebody goes down, then that's a bad thing.
I mean, it's tiring. It gets tiring, but I know that I can depend on each and every one of them, and whenever, in any situation of the game.
Right, and Cameron, you love to run, to pass, to do everything. Explain the ability to be versatile, how that helps you in a quarterback.
It helps by being able to put my team in a good position to win games, and it gives us a different look so a team can't scheme for us, right? And it gives us the best chance to win.
You know, last week I had the quarterback of Franklin on Bobadilla, and he had thrown 13 touchdowns with 2 interceptions. Right now you have 14 touchdowns and only 2 picks. Protecting the football, I would imagine that's critical for you and your offense.
Yes, sir, it is. It's best to keep us in possession so we can score, keep putting points up, and win the game.
Sean, going both sides. You're playing linebacker and center. Can you take it down off? Where do you get that breather? Because you're out there all the time.
Well, the conditioning we do in practice, of course, helps. We work our butts off all day, and I think that's how we can all do it. That's how we have a 19-man roster, and we're 6-0. So.
And Cameron, you're also a basketball player, so you get to play for the Howard Levine, the coach, who's one of the longest-lasting coach in the city.
Great singer.
Yeah,
Howie Levine.
He sings Frank Sinatra songs. He yells a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Does he yell at you a lot?
Yeah, he yells at me. He wants to make sure I'm pushing, working hard every day. He's a great coach, and I just love being in this program.
You get a shot at Arleta this week. Arleta has dominated the league in previous years. They're not having the best season, although they got a win to start the league. Your thoughts about trying to knock off Arleta, and you got them here?
We just got to execute, play our ball. They're going to come out ready to have excellent coaches, so we got to be ready and come prepared.
More importantly, you're going to be playing North Hollywood soon, and you guys will kill them, right?
No, they're gonna slaughter Poly.
No, North Hollywood.
He went to
right?
Poly. I went to North Hollywood.
No, I don't want to be cocky or anything, but it'll be a good football game.
Cameron, you're going to beat North Hollywood, right?
I'm not going to say beat. We'll try our best to compete against them, and hopefully we come out with a win.
Come on.
It's a political year. You will beat Poly, though, right?
Hopefully.
No, you'll beat Poly. Hey, guys, thanks a lot for joining us. Congratulations on a marvelous 6-0 start, the best start in 10 years at Grant High School. When we come back, we're going to learn a lot more about the southern section. Rich Estrella joins us right after this on SoCal Prep Report.
What's happening in LA? I'm Ariane Alexander. As we roll into fall, it's your chance to see LA like you've never seen it before. Create some new adventures for you, your friends, and your family. Union Station hosts a free screening of the 1950 noir classic Union Station. This thriller features plenty of memorable scenes filmed inside Los Angeles' historic Union Station and other LA locations that double for the film's Chicago setting. William Holden and Barry Fitzgerald star as the dogged cops who must flush out the psychopathic kidnapper of a young blind girl without causing a rush hour panic. For details, go to UnionStationLA.com. The Los Angeles County Quilters Guild presents its 17th biennial quilt show, Everything Old is New Again, this Friday and Saturday. Walk the halls of the Greek Orthodox Church of Long Beach and you will find an amazing assortment of quilts, auctions, gift baskets, raffles, and a flea market. There will be over 150 never-before-seen quilts, and you can vote on your favorite. This year's featured artist is Nancy Needham. Come view the artistry of her handmade quilts. This Sunday, enjoy a free, family-friendly day at the Bow Wows and Meows Pet Fair. There's over 70 pet-related vendors, food trucks, contests, canine entertainment, animal photographers, pet psychics, and a low-cost vaccine clinic. Thinking about adopting a furry friend? There will be $30 adoptions of Los Angeles County sheltered dogs, cats, kittens, and puppies. Your unleashed pets are welcome to attend. For more info, visit bowwowsandmeows.org. Living in one of the greatest cities in the world means we get to enjoy unique events each week. I'll be back next week with more. I'm Arian Alexander for What's Happening in LA.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Southern Section edition of the SoCal Prep Report. I'm Rich Estrella, and we're going to talk about Southern Section football. What else? Football is king, and this upcoming week, everybody will be in league play. About a third of the Southern Section was in league last week. We're going to take a look at some of those scores, but remember, every game counts now. It's kind of like the NCAA football where you got to play a lot of tough teams early if you want to get some consideration for the bowl playoffs at the end of the year, and it seems like a lot of schools are doing just that. Right now, let's take a look at some of the scores around the Southern Section. Taking a look around the Southern Section, we're going to start in Long Beach, one of the oldest leagues in the Southern Section. And more league play, it's usually feast or famine this time of year, and last week was no different. It was Wilson 50-0 over Long Beach Jordan. Wilson improves to 4-2 on the season, although they are one game behind Poly. That is one of their two losses in the more league play. It was Long Beach Poly 77-0 over Cabrillo. You might remember last year, Long Beach Poly hung 99 on Compton. Well, they didn't quite hang 99 on Cabrillo, and I don't know if they're going to hang 99 or more on Compton this week, as Long Beach Poly and Compton will renew their rivalry. But that was a big game last year. 99 points, you got to admit, is a lot. I don't know. I might have gone for 100. You're already there at 99. You may as well push it to the limit and make history. But I understand there's got to be some sportsmanship involved in that. Let's go to the Gold Coast League now, where there was only one game, but it was Viewpoint 7-0 over Brentwood. Now, why do we give you that score? Because that 7-0 score was an overtime game. You're talking about, 48 minutes or thereabouts of just defensive football. Comes down to a play to the overtime. And again, Viewpoint 7-0. That must have been some game, though. I can imagine they're probably moving the balls between the 20s. Let's go to the Pacific League now and take a look at some of the action there. Very competitive league. It was Arcadia 19-12 over Muir. Burroughs 48-8 over Pasadena. And it was Crescenta Valley, a 45-7 winner over Hoover. Now, this is a fun league, and I'll tell you why. At the top, you have three teams. You got Burbank and Burroughs of Burbank, along with Crescenta Valley. These are three high-scoring offenses. Each of these schools average 50 points a game. 50 points a game in scoring, and they're all in the same league. Matter of fact, they're all atop the Pacific League. And the lone fourth team in there is Arcadia. Now, Arcadia is also undefeated in league. Actually, the Apaches are 5-0, and they average a mere 14 points a game. Their defense is very stingy, averaging 6. So you got to wonder what's going to happen with these teams when they play. Because I'll tell you right now, with Crescenta Valley, Burbank, and Burbank Burroughs all averaging 50 or more, Arcadia is going to have a tough time. But we're going to find out. It's going to be very interesting in that ball game. As Burbank Burroughs is in Crescenta Valley, like I said, averaging 51.5 points a game, 48 points a game. We'll see how Arcadia does, because they're going to have to fight off these three giants if they want to win that Pacific League crown. We're going to keep an eye on that, because that is a fun league when everybody is just scoring like mad. All right, let's go out to the Suburban League now and take a look at what's going on over there. Let's just get to the crux of it. La Mirada 62-0 over Norwalk. Why do we start off with that game? Simply because Norwalk was probably the second best team in the Suburban League behind La Mirada, who just showed that by a 62-0 win. Tough, man. It's going to be hard for, I believe, the Matadors to stay focused in this league now. Remember, they took on 3 Trinity League foes right out of the gates. So getting in with, the Suburban League kids from the neighborhood should make it a little bit easier after facing Mater Dei, Orange Lutheran, Bosco. You know, you're facing that kind of competition early on, you're going to toughen up real fast. All right, La Mirada will face Artesia. Artesia's 5-1, by the way, but the competition they played is not nearly what La Mirada played. I expect more of the same of what they did to Norwalk to happen this week. Let's see if Joe Veach can get his Pioneers ready to go and slow down this La Mirada offense. Very, very high power. And Norwalk, by the way, this week, they're going to get Mayfair. All right, so that'll be a good game. More than likely, those teams right now are playing for second and third. They want to get in the playoffs, so these games still mean a lot. Even though it's early, they mean a lot now, even though, like I said, it's early on. Another game is going to be John Glenn at Bellflower. These are two teams. Bellflowers, we talked to Mike Fitz last week. They are rebuilding right now, doing what they can. John Glenn actually got an early on victory. It's been a while since John Glenn's been favored in a ball game. We'll see what happens this weekend. All right, let's take a look over at the Mission League now. It was Sarah over Loyola, 41-30. Amat was a 17-14 winner over Notre Dame, and Almani was 13-11 over Crespi. This league, we talked about the disappointment of the Mission League. Normally, this is a staunch league. This is a league that goes to the preseason and takes out everybody. Not happening this year, not at all. So looking at these games last week, we knew they were going to start separating, and it looks like they have. And we'll see more of that separation this week. The Mission League is kind of the opposite of the Pacific League, where in the Pacific League, got three really high-scoring offenses. Over here in the Mission League, you got three teams that have really terrible defenses. Actually, four. You know, you have four teams in there that are allowing 30 points a game. That's right. Chaminade, Notre Dame, Sarah, and Loyola are all allowing 30 or more points per game. That's a lot. If you're allowing 30 points a game, you better be scoring at least 31 to win. And that's why these teams have been struggling early on. So let's see if they can kind of tighten things up here, because they're going to need to play better defense in the playoffs, because believe it or not, a couple of these teams are going to get in. Almani is also just on the, they're just on the outside of the 30 club, as we're going to call it, 30 points or more. So again, that's a reason why we're seeing a lot of problems in the Mission League, because nobody's playing defense. Nobody. All right, let's take a look at the Trinity League. Of course, last week, everybody had a bye. Kind of jumped the gun, telling everybody, there's going to be good games last week. Well, those good games are this week. You got Bosco at Servite. Don't count Bosco out. Servite out. Servite took Concord de La Salle to a within 1 point of losing. As a matter of fact, they had the upper hand in that game and lost it at the end. But Bosco at Servite. Mater Dei will play Rancho Santa Margarita, a one-loss team. Their only loss was the Mission Viejo, who's in the top 10. And, of course, J. Sarah will take on Olu. That's a game J. Sarah's going to need, because I don't think Olu's up to the task to take on Mater Dei and Bosco. We'll see what happens. All right, taking a look at the national scoreboard, because it does pertain to Southern California. We got Mater Dei staying at number 3 along with Bosco. Corona stays at number 7. But you got to circle October 21st on your calendar. You must circle that date. This is the date where you're going to have probably number 3 versus number 4 in the country go head-to-head. It's the two highest ranking teams to meet each other this year, Bosco and Mater Dei for it all. The winner, more than likely, will have a possible inside track to the national championship. Although I got to say, after Bishop Gorman's win last week against Florida Aquinas, I do not think you can consciously vote Bishop Gorman out of the number 1 spot unless they lose a game, and I do not think they're going to lose a game last year. The Aquinas game, a 25-24 overtime game. It was on national TV on ESPN. Fantastic ball game. I think a lot of the problem with Aquinas is they're not disciplined. A lot of extracurricular activity, a lot of pushing and shoving after the ball, a lot of trying to get in your head. Gorman did not let them get in their head. Their quarterback was staunch, man. They were pushing that kid after the ball all the time. He did not let his head get the best of him. He stayed focused. They were able to win that game by 1 point. A fantastic game in overtime. It was like triple overtime, too. It wasn't just an overtime game. And you expect to see that out of a number 1 versus a number 9. Number 1 versus number 9. Great ball game. So we'll see how if Gorman's able to hang on to that lead and stay number 1, or Mater Dei or Bosco might be able to sneak in and, sneak into the national championship and grab that. By the way, real quick, Mater Dei's only allowed 21 points all season long. That's 21 in 5 games, okay? So actually, the 6 games. So Modern Day is playing some really good defense right now. We'll see if they can continue on. Take a look at the top 10 real quick. We start with Corona, followed by Bosco, Modern Day, J. Serra, Calabasas, Rancho Cucamonga, Mission Viejo number 7, followed by Rancho Santa Margarita, Hawkins at number 9, and Narbonne at number 10. Yes, we have 2 city section schools in our top 10. This is a Southern Cal report, man. And in the Southern section, I know it's a Southern section edition, but man, you got to pay good teams their due. Narbonne's been good for a long time, and Hawkins is making a good run right now. We'll see where it ends up. I know having Hawkins in there is needling a lot of people. Do your homework, look at them, see what happens. All right, that's it for this week's edition of the Southern Section Report. Join us next week. We'll have more for you from all the leagues around the Southern Section. Right now, let's go back to Eric and Randy.
Love this segment. We get to talk about the key games this week. Afternoon game, Dorsey at Los Angeles. This one is intriguing.
Yeah, I think it's a great matchup. LA probably deserves the favorites role based on how well they played last week, and also the fact it's an afternoon game. So that's a different factor for teams that you have to play in the afternoon. You get a little tired. It's going to be hot. But I really like the LA defensive line. I think they're capable of preventing Dorsey from getting the big plays on the run or the pass. So a little bit of a slight edge I would give to LA.
I disagree. I'll go with Dorsey. I think Mincy will have a big game, and I think the Dons will win it. That is in the Coliseum League. In the Eastern League, Garfield, who's been the best team over the last few years, goes to Southgate. And Southgate has come close. They're the one team that's been competitive in game action against the Bulldogs. Who do you like there?
Right, this will be another competitive game, but I'm going to go with Garfield. They've played a much tougher schedule. I think Polanco, their quarterback, will be able to pass the ball effectively, and Garfield will usually come through in these type of games.
I agree. I think Garfield will win the football game. I think they're the better football team. They played the tougher non-conference.
You know, the wife of the head coach at Southgate is not going to appreciate you.
She doesn't like me anyway. The other one in the Marine League that is a huge game is Banning. They'll have 4,500 at the game, hosting Carson. Carson has beaten them 16 straight times.
Are you kidding me? That many?
16 in a row.
It's ending. Banning John Aponte is just on a roll. He's been doing great. Yes, the opponents they've played haven't been as well or as strong as Carson has played, but I think they're ready for this one.
You didn't know that. I caught you
No,
with that
you got me. I'm going to have to use that.
I'm sure that'll be in one of your articles.
How did you pull that one off?
It's common knowledge. We got Reseda.
You must be doing the
San
game
Fernando.
on television.
I am doing it.
See?
For Spectrum Communications.
Yeah,
For
okay.
Spectrum Sports.
Reseda.
Reseda is at San Fernando.
That'll be another good game.
I'm giving you good games
I know.
here.
I don't know what's gotten into you.
I got good games.
These are
Hurry
all
up. We
tough
got one more
games.
after this.
I don't know. Reseda, I was impressed with them against Canoga Park last week.
They're going to win the game.
But San Fernando's going to give them a tough game.
Real quickly, Fairfax at Venice, which is the best game in the Western League.
Another great game. I'll go with Venice in an upset.
You like Luca Diamond, quarterback.
I think Venice has played a tougher schedule.
I think Venice will win the football game as well. That's going to wrap it up. Hey, kudos to Grant, 6-0 with 20 guys performing. They're having a great year. They're the favorites in the East Valley League. We'll see if they can beat Arleta this week. Anyway, for Eric, I'm Randy. We'll see you next time right here on SoCal Prep Report.